Move on now.
Speak for yourself, you know.
I've led a very low life, but I'm not going to reveal that to you tonight. Our next performer tonight is somebody I've known for a long time, Ted Smith-Orr. We used to perform every year at a festival in Hastings. Poets from South London came down from Newcastle and Scotland and gathered in a marquee in a building by the sea. And we ranted at each other interminably for hours and hours. I think Ted's got out of that habit anyway, but no. Okay. But anyway, he's got a great track record. He's one of the founders of Poets Anonymous in Croydon, which has been going for more than 25 years?
More than 25.
More than 25 years.
He also, with a colleague here, Peter, runs a poetry show on Croydon Radio, which is well worth tuning into. I performed on there and I really enjoyed the experience. So that's on, I think, once a month.
Once a month?
Yeah.
Was the last... What's last Sunday?
Yes, last
Sunday.
Podcast's always available.
Internet radio, so you can listen to it at any time, any country in the world, which is fantastic. He's also judged a number of poetry competitions. He's the publisher of Creative Energy Publications. He's performed in places including Ronnie Scott's as a guest of the West End Gospel Choir. He's appeared on radio and television. He's had poems translated into Polish. That's all you need to know about him, I think.
I'm going home.
Right. Please give a big welcome. Oh, by the way, can I just say, Ted's got some books on sale and he's trying to undercut the rest of us by offering 3 for £10, but do dig in. Okay, here's Ted Smith-Orr. Ted Smith-Orr.
Whatever it is, I should never start with an apology, but I hate these things. I never know what to do with them. James Fenton sends his apologies. He couldn't make it, so he sent me down instead. It's quite fascinating what's gone on before, because for some unknown reason I was actually going to bring a bar of chocolate along here today. And so to hear Patrick say that he's been eating chocolate in the cinema is interesting. And the other one is that I'm have impaired hearing in both ears, and my wife said to me coming up, have you got your hearing aid? No. So if you jeer, boo or anything else, I won't be any the wiser. But when it was discovered that by one of our daughters that I had a hearing aid, she said, oh good, does that mean to say we won't have any of this anymore? Talking to the ear that works. I haven't finished the rants. This is from a series of rants, and it's called Evening 2009. Somewhere between the landslide of interminable work and housing payments, everlasting bills of electricity, water and gas from Russian gangsters, the day's events are recollected and regurgitated by each individual of a large family, excluding the youngest who speaks teenage, a language so foreign we need an interpreter. I answer the telephone and the void of silence gives me an overwhelming sympathy for heroin addicts. Or it's a voice from overseas selling me something I already have, or not selling me something that I definitely do not want when I'm eating my evening meal. As I undertake intensive sofa studies, all that I ever dreamt of are customer calls, asking if I can work for them. I frown the frown of tiredness while smiling horse's teeth and promises to an unknown ear, too near for my comfort. My bank has merged with another that's gone under, and they've cut our overdrafts to pay their debt. The mortgage has increased and my paycheck is in the post. The credit crunch arrived here before subprime mortgages was even a cliche. And Woolworths was a place you avoided like the plague. And between all this, the income tax is still outstanding and the VAT man wants his money back. And between all this, there's still time to write a poem. Perhaps if it wasn't for all that, we wouldn't write poems, but who knows. This will give a clue of how old I am. I used to go and visit my aunts and uncles on the Greenwich Blackheath borders, And my aunt, she used to share a terrace house with an old lady who I called Grandma Copper. All I saw was an old lady, her life peeling away like the paint on the outside privy wall. Her life compressed between the dark corridor and the green scullery door, the zinc bath hanging from the flat-headed nail, the mangle cast iron, its wooden handle too stiff for my small hands to turn. Always sitting, interwoven into the antimacassar and the cushions of her chair, the halo of the mantle bracketing her in gaslight, her grey hair. The aunts would say, just say a few things, she'll like it. I'd remember the words, scurry back, clutching my trophies. 1 penny, 2 pennies, 3, maybe 4. I liked it. Have you all got brothers and sisters? Did you all grow up with brothers and sisters? I'll try this. It's called Brotherly Love. You could tell Mickey and David were brothers. We'd scour the wasteland for old drums, water tanks and sheet metal to build camps. They'd argue, then fight and wreck their camp. We'd change partners and rebuild, using and exchanging the bits in our new camps. They would argue and fight and then wreck both camps. I do that again. It's funny, you never know which ones you should do and you shouldn't do. So, we're in. You've made my evening. London West 1, as we're in London West 1, here we are. Locked out in Marylebone Road, a community of residents and commuters, red brick buildings, shops and offices, busy pubs and empty galleries, and a snaking road system dovetailing thundering traffic and bicycles through a chicane of pedestrian islands. I'm 200 quid adrift, enough to buy the Monopoly station, but settle for refuge in Paddington Street Gardens. Spring sun worshippers, polythene tea and a sandwich. Devonshire Street, Betjeman Street, restrained stucco mouldings, framed panelled Georgian doors and windows, lines of rectangles on reducing rectangles in a one-point perspective, vanishing like a coastal road to the sea. The privileged reignings evaded conscription. Only a pub and a cottage beside the demolition site give relief to this monotony, bringing together past and future in a perplexing irony. Harley Street, where tinted windows add mystique to silhouettes riding in predatory sedans. Arrowed railings parade their full height, saluting generals of solid doors and polished brass. Gold plaques of layered erudition suggest confidential ease to a conservative clientele, each letterbox promising to guard their secrets. Royal blue and black and green gloss this shroud of clinical sobriety. Only the lilac Arab doors hint a fairground. I reflect on Alden. Abortionist, she asked. No, poet, he replied. You're going to have to suffer a football program. And how many of you play football? Great. You're going to hate this one. It's really going to wind you up. It won't wind you up at all. Wrong poem. As you don't play football, I won't do that. This is called Wembley Way, and I know that you know Wembley. My football team, Charlton Athletic, went to Wembley and they won a playoff final 7-6, and it was rather wonderful. And I produced this book. And from this book I produced 4 or 5 others which sold in the bookshops and were absolutely wonderful for me. You can buy 3 for a 10. I can see you all rushing to buy 3 for a 10. Do you know, love, I got there down at the Poetry Cafe and I mentioned the football poetry books, and do you know what? It was empty in 15 seconds. The Wembley Roar. Standing in the tunnel being jostled and pushed by cameramen and fans disturbs concentration. Breathing patterns alter, Even the brave lose their nerve. The surge forward, roar of the crowd, smash of light, blinding all but the two twin gods in the sky. Won't way. This is our battleground, a gathering of clans in the Appian Way, friends and enemies on the same pitch, singing from the sidewall, standing in groups or swaying along in a sea of red treachery. Only primeval instincts differentiating between friendly and forthright. Here we go, Sunderland. Here we go, the same for Charlton. Norsemen on a pilgrimage of victory, Saxons with a cocky swagger, big men, head-shaven, men's groups, women's groups, teams of families. Superstar. The names lost in an overlap of hero worship, a jousting ground of red and white, striped for Sunderland and solid red for Charlton. Flags, banners predicting victory, the love of their managers, Curbs or Peter Reid, paper caps, top hats, Chester's hats, puffed up and padded. Here, forgotten footwork of parks and playgrounds, synchronised to weave an ever-closing path through a cheering, chanting bravado.
That's the audition.
At least they clap.
Yeah.
One more, or have I finished?
Oh, one more if you like, Ted.
Yeah. I didn't think I'd like to leave them with a football pony.
If he kicked out of touch.
Yeah. Right. I have a whacking great sequence of poems which I keep threatening to turn into a book, but most probably never will. And it's called At the Backs of Shops and Houses, and this is one from there. Bricks form unintentional patterns in shades of terracotta. Arches hang over blind windows, bricked in by sienna rectangles, and I ask, why now? Roofs and walls converge in juxtaposition, forming a network of angles in landslide, while fire escapes and downpipes play living games of snakes and ladders. Inanimate gutters display growing plants, and blocked outlets permeate a glisten of the stains of life, highlighting faults inside, covered in years of blistered paint. These are the private terraces, the domain of the hopeful who left home for independence, where clothes lies, fly t-shirts and anoraks and covers for second-hand buggies. The front may say Woolworths or Blockbuster or Jeweller, but these are £1 million away. Here a balcony light is a luxury. Still stairways only ascend over wheel bins and storerooms. The flat roof is a night stage to perform from, or a grand balcony to cheer royalty. These are Perron's people. Her voice would resound across the void, enlightening their lives, if only for a moment. Thank you for listening.
More applause, please, for Ted Smith-Orr. A wonderful detail in the last part there by Ted makes a little bit more sense when you know that when he's not being a poet, he's a builder. So he's a man who's used to looking at houses in detail. So there you are.
Thank you very much.